like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark. Oh, 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 love.
Welcome to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. So happy you're here. We have a great show in line for you. It Is What It Is, as you know, is a show all about real people, real life adversity, overcoming the adversity, and inspiring others through sharing their story. We all have a story, and my job, my goal here is to share those stories with you, all of you. Now, mitzvah time. What's a mitzvah? Mitzvah is a good deed. I'm going to tell you, and I challenge you all. I challenge you to do mitzvahs or many mitzvot every day. I mean, do at least one mitzvah a day. Do something kind for somebody. I think if we all did that, the world would be such a better place. If we took the time to do something good rather than, maybe compliment rather than complain. So I'm going to tell you about a little mitzvah that I recently did. I was at a Dunkin' Donuts, and I have a business group that I meet with every week early in the morning, and I sponsor it. My company sponsors it every week. So we provide breakfast, and lately I've been going to Dunkin' Donuts because it's easy. I get the box of Joe, I get the donuts, the bagels, lots of carbs. It's really, really bad for you. But so when I go in every morning, every week, I tie up the line. It takes a while. So I've tried to call in ahead of time. They don't answer their phone, so I've tried. The last time I was there, I felt so bad for the people behind me. I turned around, and there's only 3 people at that point behind me. And I jokingly said, "I'm sorry, there's nothing left." And, they laughed, of course. And I said, "Listen, are you all drinking coffee?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "All right, I'm going to add 3 more coffees now." My company did pay the bill. But we bought, I did say compliments of my company, but we bought each one of them a coffee. And you know what? They were so happy. And what is it? It's a few dollars, it's nothing much, but it had them smiling. They had a little spring in their step. They were happy. They were thankful. And I'm like, listen, one of the guys, actually, an older gentleman, he got a small. I said, "I'm treating. Why are you getting a small? Get a large." He's, "No, I'm not taking advantage." So anyways, that's a mitzvah, doing a good deed. So try and do one. Challenge yourself to do one every day. So giveaway, comment, like, and share. You can win this book. It Is What It Is. It's gotten lots of rave reviews. Whether you've had breast cancer or not, any kind of life story, any kind of life adversity, anybody can relate to what I talk about in this book. And it's got a lot of bad words, but I say it like it is, because after all, it is what it is. With Cindy Seville. So when we come back, you're going to meet a fabulous guy. He's a friend of mine, Chicky Cecchetelli. And Chicky was a bookie and lives in Springfield, Mass. But I'm going to let him fill you in on his life story. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and you're gonna meet Chicky yourself. See you in a minute.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville, and we have Chicky Cecchetelli. Hi, Chicky.
Hi, Cindy. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So you are fabulous. We have connected, I don't know,
Yep.
last year sometime, gotten to know each other. And I was so excited that you are on today on the show to share your story.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm humbled, believe me.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, me too. So tell it, where did you grow up? Where does the beginning?
I grew up in Western Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts. I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood, East Springfield, Hungary Hill. It was a mixture of Italians and Irish. And like people know, Massachusetts got their tough Irish guys. And I grew up in a middle class home. My father, my mother worked. There was a lot of organized crime guys in my city. We grew up around them. We looked up to them. I hung around Springfield South End, which back in the day was, predominantly Italians.
Mm-hmm.
And we would hang around us little young guys, maybe 20, 30 of us at a time, and get in all kinds of trouble. We were little wise guys. But like I said, in the beginning, my mother and father, I can't say they were divorced. They weren't divorced. They were great parents. My father worked 45 years in a factory. My mother was a crossing guard woman, a crossing guard lady up the street from the house in the neighborhood where she did that 45 years. So I came from like I said, a good middle class home, work ethic and all that stuff. And so that's pretty much where I started, in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Are you still there now?
I'm still here in Springfield, Mass. Yep, I was born and raised. My family, my father's family. My father comes from 9 brothers and 4 sisters,
Wow.
and they came from the Bronx, Arthur Avenue area in the Bronx, and they came here back in the day to open up several auto bodies because the Bronx was saturated with auto bodies. And they were trying to think outside the box, and they're like, "Where can we go and open up auto bodies?" All of my uncles had auto bodies, and they checked. They looked into New England and Springfield area, Western Mass area was the spot. So they came here and they opened 5 or 6 auto bodies. And my father was never into the auto body. He, like I said, he was in the military, and then he went into a factory work. But all my uncles were for many, many, many years big in the auto body business in Western Mass.
Did you get involved in the auto body industry?
No, I never did. I mean, I played sports and in high school, and I played sports throughout my life, and me and my friends, and I ended up back. Looking back now, it's a long time ago, but February 26, 1986. I was out of high school, 1985, and I just didn't know what direction. I didn't know if I wanted to go work. I didn't know if I wanted to go to college. My father was an ex-military guy, so he says, why don't you try the military? So I ended up joining the Navy, and I went to boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, right outside Chicago, February 26, 1986. I ended up going a freezing cold night, 30 below zero wind chill factor, and I'm getting off the bus at the boot camp saying to myself, what did I get myself into? But, it worked out good in the end.
How long were you? Well, thank you for your service.
Oh, no, thank you. It wasn't wartime or nothing. So, them guys are the ones that should get that props. But it wasn't wartime. I was, thank God enough that it wasn't. But it was. We were ready. If it had happened, we were ready. But I was in. That's a whole other thing. But I was probably about 6 months short of 4 years.
Oh, wow.
When, about a year before I was supposed to get out, I got hurt on a ship, and I got hurt, me and 2 other guys, and it was an accident on the ship. We were hurt, and we were in the Indian Ocean when we got hurt. We got flown off the ship on a helocraft, a helicopter, and we landed. They brought us to Oakland Naval Hospital, and then we ended up after that going to Bethesda Naval Hospital in Maryland, which is essentially the best military hospital in the world. It's where the president goes. If he gets hurt or injured, he goes there. That's how good it is.
Right.
So due to the repercussions of the accident, they retired me. I had 6 months to go to make 4 years, and they retired me for life for the military.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, you're going to get some good veterans benefits in the future.
Oh yeah, I get them now. No, I'm fully retired. I get my kids went to college.
Good.
I went to college, and they give you. I got all medical dental. My kids had medical dental. They're older now, thank God. I'm a grandfather now. But
Congratulations. I know, cute little one.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah. My daughter Gianna and Alexa both have beautiful. My youngest had a little baby girl, and my oldest son. They're only 18 months apart, but their kids are 6 months apart. My little grandson and my little granddaughter. So I'm blessed. You know, they got good husbands. You know, so I did my job. Now it's time for them to take the reins. You know.
So you came from a good family, a loving family, a hardworking family.
Yes.
You had your own beautiful family. I mean, you have, you know, I mean, but you
Right.
know, all that time, you
Right.
know, wife, children, you know, grandchildren now. So how did you get involved with the mafia?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what happened is I grew up in an area where, like I said, it was organized crime saturated. One in particular guy was my guy. He ended up getting murdered. His name was Adolfo Bruno, Big Al Bruno, they called him. He was a legend in New England. Everybody knew him. He was essentially from my area, kind of like the John Gotti of my area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
So big.
fancy
Yeah.
silk shirts, the nice slacks, the alligator shoes. He was essentially that of my area, and and he liked me. I knew him since I was a kid. I used to work at some various jobs, and he would come in the jobs, and he knew I went into the military. And when I got out of the military, I told you I had got out retired, and it was like, now what do I do? You know, I'm retired. I mean, what should I open up a restaurant? I didn't know what I wanted to do. So at the time, he needed help in his office as far as running his bookmaking operation, sports gambling. So a friend of mine's father was involved with him, and he said, Chicky, you know, you want to run the office, help out with the office, because a bunch of the guys in our area that did do the office had took a series of pinches, rests, and they were going to jail, who was on probation, who couldn't go near certain people. So I stepped in and I said, yeah, you know, yeah, for a while until I get my head straight, yeah, I'll do it. And that little time ended up turning into probably 15, 16 years with
Wow.
under Bruno. And you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, it cost me, and we can get into that after, but it was, don't get me wrong, it is kind of like you know, we could go to any restaurant we wanted, we could go to any nightclub we wanted. I mean, if the line was out the door, they were open on side doors, come on in.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the movies and you're like, you know, it's something like that. I don't want to compare it to Goodfellas, but when they open the door, and that does happen. We had restaurants where you couldn't even get in, like certain comedians were playing and they were sold out. They'd open the side door, make a table for you. I mean, it was very appealing. I want to say for a kid, 20 years old, it was appealing. And then I ended up opening up a restaurant, bar, and a venue for music with Bruno and a couple other of my friends. We went partners, the four of us. And it was back in like the 1989-90 era when the clubhouse music was very big, like all these dancing songs and stuff. And we used to have the people come from New York to our venue and play outside on the deck. And but again, we were young kids, and we didn't know that value of work. Anybody else could have turned it into $1 million joint, but us being lazy and us just wanting to party,
Yeah.
we didn't do it. And
You were
Bruno,
young. You're still so young.
I know, and it's just like we had these great opportunities, but at the time we didn't realize how valuable that was. Now, geez, if somebody gave me that opportunity now, I'd be a millionaire. But back then, you know, we were into, you know, picking up girls and having our friends come drink at the place, and our mind wasn't in it. So unfortunately, it only lasted a couple of years, and you know, Bruno kind of got disgusted because he gave us a great opportunity, and we blew it. So it was for several years, it was like that. I was still working for Bruno, and I'm not giving like any secrets or anything. Like I worked for him.
Right.
I was convicted of it. I was convicted and went to federal penitentiary because of it. So it's, you know, it is what it is. It's in the newspapers. I'm not trying to give secrets or nothing. But and then I ended up in 1993. I had my first daughter, Gianna, September 1993, and then I had my second daughter in 95. And through the 90s, it was crazy. I mean, I was getting arrested. Like I said, when when it's sports gambling, it's essentially all over the country legal now. So really, it's legal right now, pretty much. Massachusetts is one of the only states not legal, but Connecticut, New York, it's all legal.
Was
So
it
everything
legal?
every,
Was
go
it
ahead.
legal in other states when you were doing this, or no?
No. That was before. I mean, you could go like to Las Vegas and bet it in the sports books of the casinos, but back then it wasn't. That was not lately. The last 5 years, it's pretty much everywhere in the country except for a few places. Massachusetts happened to be one of them. So, but I was convicted and I pleaded guilty, and I was convicted of booking $3 million a month. That's what the government estimated we were taking in.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it wasn't like a little small thing.
Yeah,
It was
I was like, that's
it was a big thing. So couple pinches early on, state cases and stuff for bookmaking. It was essentially a year probation, no violence. It was never violent, but it was bookmaking. Basically, and it basically was a year probation. Whatever, this, that, small things. But then in 2004, we got indicted on a big case. I was indicted with the boss of boss of our crew of the Genovese family, and Bruno was on the indictment too. But on November 23rd, 2003, Sunday night, Bruno was murdered in our social club parking lot.
wow.
That's a crazy story in itself. It was a power struggle, and he was murdered in the parking lot.
Wow.
So yeah, so he was on my indictment with me, but when it went to court, obviously he was dead. So he was, they call it an unindicted co-defendant. So he wasn't, it was just me and two other guys, three of us.
Right.
And I ended up pleading guilty. I mean, they had informants, they had us on tape, and I ended up going to, for sports gambling, I essentially went to two of the worst prisons you could go to on the East Coast. I was in MCC Manhattan, which is a federal holding in Southern District Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. And then I went to the USP, United States Penitentiary, Canaan, in Weimar, Pennsylvania. So, but like I said, the sentences weren't big. Bookmaking, no violence. You're going to go do a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're done. But I'm going to be honest with you, Cindy. Like I said, the life had the goods and it had the bads. I mean, it cost me my first marriage, and you can't blame my ex-wife, and I are good friends today. But you can't blame her. I mean, a woman can only take so much of the FBI knocking the door down, and you got little kids there, and
scary.
It was too much,
Yeah, I can imagine how scary. I mean, here is your husband, he's the provider. I'm
Right.
sure you're the main provider,
Yep.
And I mean, for your children to see that also, I'm sure that, your ex-wife, that must have been very hard,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. We have about a minute left, but on this segment, we're going to come back. We have a couple more segments, but I want to ask, there was something that I heard when you were a little boy or when you were young, you would get the remotes, right? The remote TV.
Oh,
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
I tell you, yeah. So what happened is back in the day when the cables first came out, we were young kids, and we used to bust chops. Bust guys chops. The organized crime guys at the social club.
Yeah.
And they'd be watching the game on a Sunday afternoon, and they're all eating and they're charismating and laughing, and it's social club's a fun place. So us guys were too young to go in, so to torture them, we would use the clicker. And then back then they only had one clicker and one box, and it worked on it. You could go to anybody's house you wanted and use your clicker.
Yeah.
So we'd be in the window, and the guys would have big money bet on the football game, and we'd wait for like a good play to happen where a guy's going for a long bomb, and we'd shut off the TVs in the social club. And the guys would lose their mind. Or if a horse race, they had a satellite. If the horse race was racing right before the finish line, we shut the TV off. And I wish then we had the cameras like we do now with the phones, because some of the things these guys cursed, they didn't know it was us. They thought it was the cable being shut off. If I had some of them recordings, they would go viral, how funny it was.
I love it. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I could just see
we were little wise guys. We were little troublemakers,
Oh, but boy, little boys having fun.
Exactly.
All right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, you're going to hear more from Chicky. We'll
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home with our healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive. Ballas Associates, sales, service, and support for all your computer and PC networking needs. Whether it's wired or wireless, upgrades or repairs, backup or disaster recovery, we can provide the solutions to all your PC needs. No need to get frustrated. You know a guy. Just call Ballas Associates at 203-792-2300. That's 203-792-2300. Or visit them online at ballasassociates.com.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Saville. We have Chicky Cecchetelli. So Chicky, got some more questions for you.
Absolutely.
So, doing what you did, I mean, I consider it hustling. I mean, I've never been a bookie.
No,
You know?
I know.
I don't even know anything about sports,
Right.
But you see people betting on all kinds of like football games and I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily see what was wrong with it personally.
Right.
Obviously it was illegal. But did you make a lot of money all those years doing? How long did you do it for?
I did it probably from 19. Let me just think here. From 1989 to 2005.
Okay. So
Yeah.
quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah. About 15, 16 years.
And I mean, if you brought in $3 million a month,
Well, that's not me getting that. That's
okay.
paying and collecting. In other words, that's all the winnings and all the losing. If you add them all up, what the government does is when they arrest you, they add it all up. So they don't take out, well, 3 million came in, but they don't talk about the other 2 million you had to pay out to winners. You know what I'm saying? They add everything up and just put one cap on it, so they kind of give you what was taken in. Because to them, the government, and that's where the crime lies. The government's not getting their piece, like with Keno and everything else. All these the numbers, like the big thing that the woman just hit in California for like 1.6 billion. I mean, the government gets mad because they're not getting their piece. Now they get their piece. Connecticut, New York, it's all legal. So the government gets their end. There's no doubt about that.
I love how they legalize it so that they make money off of it.
Marijuana. Look what's going on with marijuana, cannabis.
Yeah.
They legalized it. They're making millions now.
Yeah. I mean, why didn't they just do this before,
Exactly.
They did it with cigarettes and alcohol,
Yeah.
So how many times did you go to prison? I mean, but how many times would you say?
Federal prison, I went twice. Once was a sentence. Another time they were holding me until I made bail. So actually going to prison and staying in prison, like for a sentence, it was one time in a federal prison. That's a penitentiary, which is crazy for sports bookmaking. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, because you were in with violent offenders, I'm assuming.
Stone cold killers. I mean, guys that kill people in prison,
Wow.
Yeah.
There's there's a gentleman that you met in prison who was, I think he was somebody from the Bonanno family. Am I saying?
Gentleman of a guy in MCC Manhattan. His name was Vinny. They call him Vinny Gorgeous. Vinny Basciano. Allegedly, he was the acting boss of the Bonanno crime family. Allegedly, and that's the one that the boss of the Bonanno family, Joe Mazzina, who was a big time boss, actually testified and wore a wire on his underling, Vinny, and put him in jail for 2 life sentences.
Wow.
Yeah. What a guy, gentleman of a guy. And I know people say, like, how can you say that? I was with him in MCC Manhattan only for 2 months. I was with him and a guy named Alex Rudai, who was a serious guy in his own right. He was an Albanian. And at one point, they were going to make them the 6th family. That's how
Wow.
powerful these Albanians were from the Bronx. And them guys were with me in MCC Manhattan, and I'm telling you, complete gentlemen, really gentlemen, family men. They had kids, wife, just down to earth, and it was an honor to meet both of them, to be honest with you.
So, but he kind of looked out for you.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a matter of looking out. It's just we kind of everyone looked out for each other. But because
Yeah.
when you're in there, you either get along or you go along. You know what I mean? So it's the same. I try to explain to people, and I have friends that done 18 years in federal prison, so I'm not even in that ballpark.
Right.
My friend laughs at me. My friend Brian Hoyle, who's in the movie with me, we'll talk about after. He was in prison in Raybrook with John Gotti Jr. They were in the same unit together, and he always laughs at me. He says, "Chicky, I did more time standing in the commissary line than you did in prison." We laugh, but he's right.
Yeah.
Almost 18 years in federal prison and never opened up. They wanted him to open up. He never did. He said, "Put me in prison." There's a lot of guys in prison right now doing life that could have opened up on people. And they said, listen, I mean, you want to talk about honorable guys to take a life sentence? And then there's plenty of guys, I'm not going to mention them now, but there's plenty of guys on YouTube that got their own shows that, killed 19 people. And they're doing a podcast now talking about the murders. And the government allows this to happen. I don't understand it. It's like, I always tell people, it's like we're in bizarro world, like everything that should be happening, it's not. It's the other way around. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, when being in prison, I mean, you had said something in another interview that I watched that was interesting. You had members of different families, different mafia families. I don't know if I'm using the correct terminology.
Yeah.
And, in prison together and friendly with each other, when normally outside on the streets, out of prison, they wouldn't be.
Some of them were. I mean, I can remember playing cards at night with Vinny Bacciano and Alex Rudai. We were playing cards pinochle at night, and we were having coffee and eating honey bunnies, and they're laughing. And I don't know if Vinny or Alex, one or the other said it to the other one. They're like, Vinny, on the street, they made a joke. They go on the street, it would have been bad if we ran into each other. And now look, we're eating honey bunnies and coffee. You got to understand, once you go into prison, everything at the door stops. So whatever problems you had on the street, now you're the same. You're both locked up and you're fighting cases. That's the way it is. So everyone respects each other, especially at that level. Them guys were on a whole nother level than me. I mean, I'm a Western Mass. These guys were serious, Hold on, I'm sorry. I just want to shut this off.
Oh, I think we lost your
Sorry,
audio.
can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. And now we hear you. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
That's okay. Well, you brought, I mean, you were the entertainer, right? So you had also mentioned that, like, what the way you are on the, outside,
right?
People can tell who you are. I mean, you don't change once you're in prison.
No, I mean, if you're a happy-go-lucky, funny guy, but you can handle yourself on the street, it's the same as in prison. If you're a wise guy in the street and look for trouble, you're going to get it in prison. Believe me, you're going to get it. But if you go with the flow and you're a gentleman and you this thing is crazy. I'm sorry. If you just go with the flow and you're a gentleman, then that's how you're going to get treated in prison. So like people, they want to watch these movies and HBO shows where people are getting raped and listen to me. There's plenty. There are stuff like that going on, but if you're just a regular guy coming off the street and you keep your nose clean and you just respect everybody, that doesn't happen. That's too many stuff on the movies.
Right. Well, I met John Gotti Jr. I met him at an MMA fight. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
good friend.
Yeah, so sweet and so gracious. And, came over and introduced himself to me. And, we got some pictures together. But what a nice person, And I think after that, we connected. You and I connected.
Yes.
But I know you're very close with the Gottis. Right.
I am. John Jr., several years ago, we met him. He was out of that life. Like I said, the guy's, in my book, he's a hero. He got out. He wanted to be with his family. He had enough. He's got 6 great kids. They're a little bit older now. And he's got a great wife and a great family. And good for him. Kudos to him that at that level, he could walk away and like I said, essentially be his son's manager for fighting. And he's got such wonderful things going between documentaries and movies and clothing lines. He's doing everything positive, and it just shows to show you. I mean, he fought 5 trials in 3 years. He
Wow.
beat every case. I mean, I'm talking about not cases that put him in jail for 5 years. He had a couple of his cases were death penalty cases and a life in prison case, and he beat every single case fair and square. Had lawyers, went the whole way through trial and beat it. And when he got done beating the 5th case, he said, "I'm done. I can't do this no more." I mean, the money was spent on lawyers, and so he completely turned another direction, and I respect that. I really respect that because there ain't too many people that walk away at that level.
Right. When did you meet him?
We met him probably about in 2000. I want to say 2015. We met him. We went out to his area in Oyster Bay, Long Island. Had dinner with him several times. He hooked us up in Witsec Mafia is a docu-series he's doing, and my friend Damien and Brian went out to Miami. I was supposed to go too, but I couldn't go because I was under this latest federal indictment, which we can get into later.
Okay.
But so I couldn't leave the state. So they went out there and they shot an episode of Witsec Mafia, and which will be coming out soon. I just don't know when. And through John, we met other people in the movie business and documentary business. And in September 2019, we ended up going out. Myself and several guys from my area went out to Queens under the Whitestone Bridge and shot an organized crime, Irish organized crime film called The Flanagans. And if it ever comes out, it's incredible. But I guess they're having trouble with productions or whatever. But so through all these different events, we met people that took us to another level. And then the best thing in our life, me and, like I said, there's a small circle of guys that are around me, and you pretty much know who they are. A couple MMA fighters, Damien, Brian, certain guys around us that when we do something, we all go together and we're in it. And the biggest thing, and I'm blessed, is last November, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, last year at this time, we went out to Hartford and we shot a movie, a real movie called The Willie Pep Story, about a Hartford boxer who grew up in that was in Hartford.
Right.
And guy James Madio plays the role, lead role, plays Willie Pep, looks just like him. He was in Band of Brothers. He was in The Offer, the Paramount movie about the Godfather movie. He was in Hook with Robin Williams. And the production company that is doing the production of the company is called Appian Way, and its founder is Leonardo DiCaprio. That's his production company. So he's involved with the production of it, not being an actor in it, but all the back scenes productions.
Wow.
So I was in the movie.
amazing.
Yeah, I was in the movie. We show up. I was just going to be an extra in the background. The guy got to meet me. He's like, "Chicky, no, we're going to use you for something different." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We're going to use you in the movie." I go, "Come on, don't bust my chops." He goes, "We're going to use you." And me and Brian Hoyle end up getting lead roles, not lead roles, but roles talking in the movie to James Madio. I don't know where they come up with the idea, but I play a bookmaker in the gym who was Willie Pep's friend, right?
Wait,
And
you were a bookie in the movie?
yeah, I was a bookie in the movie. Where'd they get that idea from?
Who knows?
Yeah. So we just got word it was going to be called Pep, the Willie Pep movie called Pep. But we just got word 2 weeks ago they changed the title to the featherweight because he was a lightweight boxer, 229 wins. And you don't see that no more. 229 wins. And like I said, it's in production right now, and it's going to be coming out soon. And we're going to be it'll be out probably right after the holidays, but it's going to be a motion picture, you know. So
Are you going to invite me to the premiere?
Of course, Hartford. You got to come to Hartford.
Better.
Absolutely.
45 minutes.
Absolutely.
I'm there.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of good pictures there. A lot of actors and a lot of different people. And the guy James Madio, who plays the role, also played in Basketball Diaries with Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio. Them are his friends. So
wow.
We got a lot of good people around us. And then I can't get into too much right now, but starting probably next spring, Gotti 2 starts filming in, I believe it's in Springfield, Missouri, and about the end of John Gotti Sr.'s life. And Armand Asante's playing, again, John Gotti.
Oh, I love Armand Asante.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Okay.
And I met him once, but
me
John,
too. Yeah,
John Jr.
I've met him a couple times.
Yeah, gentleman.
Very much so. Yeah,
right.
Very much so. Well, this is a good stopping point. But we have a lot more and all the wonderful positive things that you're doing. We're going to come right back after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007. Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home where there are healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive.
Hello everybody, this is Stephen Michael. Come watch Keeping It Real with Stephen Michael every Monday night at 5 o'clock on channel 115. We talk faith, hope, mental health awareness. It's shot every week live at Paradise Studios, Strong Island Television. Come see what everybody's talking about. You matter, you're important, you make a difference. I'll see you on Monday nights.
Keeping it real with Stephen Michael. Never give up with Stephen Michael.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville, and we have Chicky Cecchetelli. So Chicky, we were just talking during the break. I love MMA. Love
Yeah.
it.
I've loved it for years. And like I said, UFC 281's tonight. Whenever you show the show, it'll be tonight. But a lot of great fights tonight. I love it. I'm hooked on it,
Yeah, a friend of mine, Dave McDonough, he was on my show also. He's an amazing coach. Amazing. He's here in with Champs Boxing in Danbury.
Right. Yep.
So you probably have met him. And but he brought me to a CES MMA fight, Jimmy Birchfield and Mickey
Yep.
and the whole crew. And oh my God, great people.
You were hooked.
Yeah, I loved it. And then, I couldn't believe how much I got into it. Like I was taping, rooting them on, cheer, and initially you think, and again, as a woman, they're fighting, there's going to be bloody. It's such a sport.
It's you know what it is? It's like old school gladiators. It's two guys in there at their rawest form and they're going to the semi to the death because they don't let them kill. But pretty much, till you get knocked out or whatever. Yeah.
But there's such respect in the sport. Like
100%.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that,
They
actually saw it in person.
To get to that level of CES, or my friend Damien fought for Bellator, that's another level, great level. And then of course UFC. When you get to that levels, especially UFC, they respect each other. You're talking about the best in the world. So it's a whole nother level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I thank Jimmy and Mickey for making me feel so comfortable. They invited Dave and I, out to dinner with them. And Dave has been out there many times since. And yeah.
They're great guys. True gentlemen. Mickey, all of them guys. Marcos, all of them. They're great guys.
And a shout out to Jordan. So Jordan is a true champion. Do you know Jordan?
No, I might have seen him, but I just don't know the off top.
Jordan Jimmy kind of took him up, put his, how can I say, like almost like his grandson. He's almost like.
Oh, okay.
So, and Jordan took him under his wing and that's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay,
good. Sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Right. What a hero. Had a lot of medical issues and hopefully one day he'll come on and share his story, but what a champion.
Wow. God bless him.
Yeah. So he's always, I met him at the, not at the game, but at the pizza place afterwards, the Italian restaurant.
Right.
Which was great. So tell us about, listen, we all have a story. We all go through something in life. It doesn't define who we are, you know? And honestly, what you did, I see it as a way to make money. People are doing it legally now. Why is it legal now? And it wasn't legal then,
Right.
But you paid your dues.
Right.
And
Actually,
what do
just to bring up a little note to you, I'm the last case in 2005 in New England, and my lawyer told me this,
Yeah.
that I was convicted and sent to federal prison for only bookmaking, no violence, just bookmaking only. Essentially, today it's a fine and that's it. You know what I mean? Essentially, today it's a fine and
Yeah.
nothing. So I was the last case in my area to actually go to federal prison just for slowly bookmaking.
Wow. Wow. So no more. So is it legal again? Now it's not legal in Massachusetts, or it is?
Massachusetts is not legal. No, my lawyer in a case fought for me because I got picked up in another case, nothing to do with that, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's what I'm currently finishing up a home confinement case now for.
Yeah. That sucks, being in the wrong place at the wrong.
Yeah, I know. It was a big case, and it happened December 5th, 2019. Me and my a family member, my nephew, owned a house together in Springfield, Mass. And they were serving a federal warrant for him. And when they came in the house, they found a gun and ammunition, and they arrested me for that. And when it went to court, it was a federal case. The gun was a Smith and Wesson. So federal law, they have to prove the gun left state lines to charge you with it, and they couldn't because Springfield, Mass, is home of Smith and Wesson. So the government couldn't prove that. So then they charged me with ammunition, and ammunition charge from a convicted felon is only like a 10 to 15 month charge. So essentially, for almost 2.5 years, I thought I was going back to prison for another year and a half, and then I had everything going good, and I said, well, it is what it is. I got to go do what I got to do, and then I'll come out and we start fresh, and I keep moving forward. And because of COVID, and because of I already had time in, I had 3 months time in already for that case. The judge seen the writing on the wall, and they said, listen, they gave me home confinement for a year because of COVID and because I'm a retired veteran with an illness. So, my lawyer fought it in court and said, it could affect his condition because he is a retired veteran, and COVID and a number of other things. And, the judge agreed and gave me a home arrest for a year, which I could still go out. I go see my grandkids. I go to the gym. They let you go out, but you just got to kind of tell them where you're going. And I got the ankle monitor on right now, only for till after the holidays, and then I'm done.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
So you're filming, you're in films.
Yep.
What else are you doing?
I'm writing a book. The book will be out probably in the spring. It's supposed to be, well, from what I'm hearing from the people that helped me write it and the people that are doing all the different stuff with that process, they think it's going to be a great book about my life, about Springfield, about the military, about going from the streets to the screen, to the movie screen. So like I said, I'm blessed, Cindy. I got good people around me. That's the main thing. You got to get rid of all the negative. And I know your show promotes change and being better. And you got to get anybody that's watching this, take my advice, and you probably know it already. I learned a lot later in life, but you got to get rid of negative people. I don't care if they're your best friend or even family. If they're negative and they're constantly in your ear, negativity, you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do that, cut them out. And it's tough because some of these people are friends I grew up with, and you got to cut them out because it's like that scenario where the crabs are trying to get out of the bucket and the other crabs are pulling them back down.
Yeah.
You got to get out of that bucket at any cost.
It's so true. I can't handle negativity. I say I'm allergic to negativity and toxicity.
Yep.
I mean, allergic.
And for a long time, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but a long time, I'm not attracted to it, but I was around that. And for a good 8-9 years, I lost myself because I thought that was the norm. I thought it was normal when you walked away from people, they talked about you. I thought it was normal that every time somebody could screw you, they would do that, And then you get around other people and they're like, bro, that's not normal. That's not normal. And you start rebooting your program in your head and you're like, this ain't normal. And then when you start changing and you're around positive people, and positive people want to attract other positive people, and they'll help you. They'll give you a shot at doing something. You know what I mean? So I can't. But anyways, yeah. So it's just got to be positive, and you'll see how fast your life will change.
It's so true. And it's like the law of attraction. You know, positivity
Yeah.
attracts positivity, negativity attracts negativity. You know, I remember after I went through my divorce, you know,
Right.
everybody who goes through divorce is bitter and
Yeah.
negative, was complain. And,
Yep.
but, you know, I understand going through the process, but once you're done with the process, it's time to move forward. You know, it's time to,
100%.
okay, yeah, you
Yeah.
did it.
You can't relive what, like I told you before, me and my ex-wife are best friends now. Best friends.
Awesome.
And
That's
she went
awesome.
on to another relationship and had 6 more children.
Wow.
So she has
Wow.
my two, which I was with my whole life. I remember because I'm being retired. I spent Monday through Friday with them, and she would
Yeah.
spend the weekends with them because I could do that. I helped her. She worked,
Right.
but she went on to have 6 more kids with somebody else, and to this day, we're still, she'll call up on my birthday, best friend still. And it was a thing where you got to look past my fault, her fault, nobody's
Yeah.
fault. You got to look past that and do the right thing for the kids because at the end of the day, the kids love both parents. That's the way it is.
They do.
And
No matter
maybe
what we do.
they live with one maybe more than the other, whatever. But the bottom line is it's still their mother and it's still their father, and you can't. And people make mistakes, and I did too. But you can't badmouth the other person to the kids because that's their family.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the couple years, like you said, you go through it. It's a little rough.
Yeah.
But then you get over it and you move on and you move on with your life. He moves on with his life, and it is what it is.
Yeah. I just remember people, oh my God, I'm a realtor. And I remember being in the real estate office and this woman, all she did, I had just met, first time I met her, and all she did was complain and complain and complain. I thought I was going to you get that anxious feeling. It's just that
Oh,
I can't,
anxiety.
right. Yes, the negativity, it just drains you. It drains
Yes,
you. You're right. You're right.
you're right, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, your life is looking up. You're
Yeah.
doing all these great things, right? You've got your family and in
Oh,
line.
I mean, I'm just telling you, Cindy, and I know you got great kids too. I see them in the posts and stuff, and I'm telling you, uh, I'm so blessed. My daughters married great guys. They're very close to me. My daughters, as well as my grandkids, as well as my son-in-laws. So I pray every night. Just I hope that's somebody. Right now, my daughter just came today and let me visit with little Willow because it's hard to get out every time I wanna. But I was telling somebody, my family, that's the most important thing. I mean, you can do movies, you can get a new car, you can write a book, but the most important thing is your kids are healthy and they respect you and you got a great relationship with them. That's the most important thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I totally agree. I say the two best things I've done in life are my two children.
Absolutely.
I created
Absolutely.
my two children. I've raised them. I've loved them, and I couldn't be more proud. They're both success in their own rights.
Exactly.
Healthy, God willing, they stay healthy and you know, happy,
And
so
besides, and I just want to give you a little kudos too. Besides raising the kids, I mean, you went through a terrible ordeal where you overcame that. How strong you got to be to overcome what you came through, and you're a blessing to any woman that's going through that now, especially with or without with children. I mean, that's another thing that had to be on your mind. God forbid, what happens if we go bad here? Who's going to raise my kid? So for what you went through, you're a hero, and I'm not just saying that because I'm friendly with you or I'm on your show. What you went through is a whole nother level, especially being a mother at the same time and probably keeping emotions under control because you don't want the kids to see you're kind of having a bad night. You know what I mean?
right.
So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's right.
Absolutely.
You read my book.
Yes.
You know the whole story.
You sent me one. I read it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
No, thank you for
absolutely.
reading.
Absolutely. It was really uplifting to me. I never went through that, but I'm just saying I couldn't imagine it. So like I said, to keep that straight face when you want to kind of just hug your kids and cry and you can't because you're going to sacrifice, you're going to put it on them. So
Exactly.
yeah, but like I said, moving forward and what you overcame and what I overcame in my own little world, we could take on anything now. Nobody's going to stop us now,
That's how I feel. It's
Yeah.
exactly, again, all these life adversities, and that's what this show is all about. It's like we all have a story. We've all been through something, and one of my recent guests said, what you've gone through is not better or worse or than what I've gone through. Like to us, it's big. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
whatever it is. It could be, it's not like mine tops yours or yours tops mine. We all
No,
have, we all have something
different things. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And it's how do we get through it? What is
Right.
it? How do we get through it? And then how do we become a better person? And then maybe how do we help other people? You know?
Exactly. Like on my my social media, my Instagram, my Facebook, every so often, I'll put up a picture with me in federal penitentiary that they took with my kids at Christmas Day. My kids were in a federal penitentiary visiting me. They were 11 and 12. And I
Wow.
put it up, and people are like, "Why do you want to look back at that and remember that?" Yeah, you're right. I do want to remember that because I want to let myself know from where I was and where I came. So it's a reminder to me. Look where you were, back then, and look where you are now. So I will put it up. I don't put it up to be a big shot or proud. I put it up to show myself. Look, you're going to look at that and you're going to appreciate that for what you're doing now, and that's why I do it.
Yeah. No, it's so true. Listen,
Yeah.
I commend you for everything, that you've gone through and you're here, doing amazing things, and you're a loving father and
Thank you. Thank you. That
grandfather.
means a lot. Yep.
Because I see that. I see how proud you are of your children and your grandchildren, and you're doing the right thing, and
Thank you.
you're welcome. It's not like you're glorifying your past. You did what
No.
you did for whatever your reasons were at the
Everybody has a past, whether, God forbid, they were involved in drugs or whatever it may be. Everyone has a past, and it's not a matter of the past. It's a matter of coming out of the past and going forward in a positive direction. And nowadays, in 2022, let's face it, that organized crime, the crime, it's over. It's over. They got cameras in every street corner. Everybody got a cell phone.
Yeah.
They don't even need a gun no more, Cindy. If somebody does something, they're filming. They don't even need a gun no more. They film you. So you're not getting away with nothing today. Nothing. All these gangs and this and that. The poor kids, a lot of these gang members, they don't have father figures. Their father figures are in jail, a lot of them. And it's a real shame because it's going to be too late. These poor kids, before they wake up and realize it, they're going to get life sentences in prison. Because these young kids today, especially the gangs, not so much organized crime, but the gangs, these 15, 16-year-old kids, they have no boundaries. They will shoot somebody in the head in 2 seconds and think nothing of it. And then they'll go to prison, and they won't wake up till 10 years from now when it's too late, and they got to spend the rest of their life in prison. And that's a real sad shame.
Yeah, no, it really is. It is. Well, I want to thank you, Chicky. Our time is just about up.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Really, thank you for spending the time with me and
Absolutely. My pleasure.
sharing your story. And
Yeah.
you have all my support, my love and my support and my friendship.
Thank you.
And I want to be at that premiere, so I better get it.
Listen, I give you my word, you're there. And as soon as CES comes back around, we're gonna go out to dinner, all of us. Okay?
I can't wait. Please let me know because it's not far.
It's coming up. No, another one's coming up not too long. So whether it's in Rhode Island, Connecticut, we'll hook up. We'll get together.
I'm holding you to it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and thank you to all the people watching it. I appreciate it, and I'm humbled by all of this. So thank you. And the movie's coming out. Watch out for it.
How do we find you, Chicky? How do we find you?
I'm on Instagram under official Chicky, Cecchetelli, like it is spelled on the screen. Facebook, same name. YouTube, I'm thinking about doing a channel after I get off this house arrest thing with another friend of mine. But we're not going to do nothing negative. It's going to be like your show, positive, about coming from maybe, let's say, the dark into the light, and it's going to be positive. So look forward to that. But I'll keep you updated. Yeah,
let me know. I'm happy to spread the word.
Yeah. And Woodstock Mafia is coming out, John Gotti Jr.'s project. It's going to be unbelievable. That'll be coming out anytime. So a lot of positive things going.
I can't wait. Just keep me posted. I want to copy that book.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. Okay. When we come back, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. I hope you enjoyed the show with Chicky Cecchetelli. He's a fabulous guy, and he pretty much said it. Listen, your life is not defined by your past actions. You can choose. It's all about choice. You choose if you want to be a good person or you don't. So you are not defined by your past. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, comment, like, and share the show. It is what it is my favorite word in the whole dictionary, but I say it like it is because it is what it is. So make sure you comment, like, and share if you want to win the book. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open yourself so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no